Let's give her the beans. We have a fresh amount of snow. Traction control off. Yeah, it definitely lets you. I will say I just got on it slightly from a stoplight back there. Just want to feel what the V6 feels like. This thing doesn't feel slow at all. Oh, that was close. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. If you're watching this video, hopefully you saw the video I did beforehand when I did the driving impressions of driving the V6 SXT all-wheel drive Dodge Charger, comparing that to my Dodge Challenger RT. In today's video, I want to do something a little bit different. I want to actually show you guys the differences between the Charger and the Challenger. If you're thinking about getting the Charger, thinking about getting the Challenger, this is a good video to kind of show you guys the difference between both of them. All right, so the first thing you're going to notice is the Charger and the Challenger, obviously 4 doors versus 2 doors. Now, the one thing I do think is interesting, so this is 2016, so this is what the front grills look like. And as you go over to the Challenger, all of the Challengers pretty much had the same front grill. If you notice my front grill is a little bit different because I swapped it out for the Hellcat or the SRT grill. So that basically is just this front grill right there. It's all blacked out. I put the RT badge back on, but normally all the Challengers pretty much look the same until you get into the SRT and then a Hellcat. So the normal V6s and the RTs. And I believe most of the Scat Packs, they also have the same front grill where it's like Charger, or it says Challenger inside the grill inserts. You only have to step up to the SRT or the Hellcats to get the completely blacked out grill. But pretty much all of the Challengers, the front end, they all look pretty much the same. Just with the Chargers, they look slightly different. Inside the front, you can tell the difference from just immediately looking at it. Now, the big thing where you're going to tell the big difference is when you step right into the cockpit. So the steering wheel itself feels pretty much the same as the Charger and Challenger. The only thing that I can definitely see that's immediately different is the gauges. Don't know how to explain it. The gauges are a little bit more upright inside the Charger. Now, when you turn the car on, same thing, push button start. You turn it on. Everything in here seems slightly different. It's just the gauges seem to be a little bit more standing up, and I don't know how to quite explain it. This almost looks a little bit more analog than digital, only slightly on the outer rim. I don't know how to quite explain it. It's a little bit different, but you'll see the difference as I'm going to show you what the Challenger looks like. Going over to the infotainment system, it's pretty much the same. The real big difference is as you start going down here, I will say there's a much larger area where you can put stuff down here. This is not inside the Challenger. The Challenger has just kind of like, it's definitely different. So there's like a little bit more room. You can actually put, it's pretty deep actually right there. As you're going down here, this is a little bit more space. Even going over here, you have the cup holders, which opens up. You have cup holders in there, and that's pretty nice. Just seeing like the actual like cockpit, it seems a little bit different. I do like the fact that the cup holders are back here, so it's not getting in the way of the shifter. So you can put stuff there, put stuff, your cups in here, and you don't have anything in the way. Inside the Challenger, because since it can come inside manual, the cup holders are on the side of the shifter, so it doesn't get in the way like that when you're shifting gears. Other thing I think is nice is the elbow rest kind of center console system right here. This is actually a lot higher up than it is inside the Challenger, and this seems to be a lot bigger inside of the Charger versus the Challenger. Not sure why, but I do think this is much bigger than inside the Challenger. And then overall visibility, as I'm just looking out of the front of the Charger, it seems to be pretty much the same as you're going over looking inside of the windows or the rear view mirrors. It seems to be pretty much the same. The big thing that I definitely will say is different is when you're looking over your shoulder, you have much more visibility. Obviously, you're looking over your shoulders. And then looking over this shoulder, I can actually see what's behind me. If I were to peek out, I can see that as well. So it definitely is a lot more visibility inside of the Charger versus the Challenger, but that's what you get. You get the 4 doors versus the 2 doors. The other thing I do want to mention that I am noticing, the inside of the doors, the actual cup holders in the storage down there seems to be a little bit more. Inside the Challenger, there is a cup holder down there, but it's more slanted. It's not really, you can't really put stuff in it that's easily can spill. Seems like there's more room down here as well. It's on the same thing that's on the driver's side. It seems to be more storage inside of the Charger versus the Challenger. Now, obviously, this model compared to my model, this one has the leather seats and the heated seats, which I must say these seats feel great. But looking down here, everything else seems pretty much the same. There is small differences, just the way everything's laid out. Like a little bit more vertical just in the design layout. Everything seems to be more upright versus inside the Challenger. Now, mostly everything feels the same. For some reason, don't know why this steering wheel feels slightly different. I don't know how to explain it. I can't tell if it's just me imagining it or not, but it feels slightly different than inside of the Challenger. And then obviously the big feature and the big difference is in the back seats. The back seats, the big thing here is this actual center rest. Inside the Challenger, it's much smaller. And here, this is much larger. This is actually like a usable center console system, which actually opens up. You can put stuff back there. That's actually pretty cool. And you have nice big cup holders that can actually hold stuff. In the Challenger, if you try to put anything in the back seat and the cup holders back there, they will fall out. And here you can, I would actually feel pretty confident putting something back here. If I didn't have any more room in the front, I can put something back here and hopefully it wouldn't spill. If it's something, you know, really large, maybe it would fall over if you're, you know, taking a lot of turns, but normal driving, I think it would actually hold stuff back here. The other thing is the actual heating system back here, which is like really nice. You have an actual heating system, and this model has the heated seats back here, so you can turn them on and off. And you do have USB power outlets, which I know you do not have that inside the Challenger. So overall, I will say definitely the Charger, this car feels pretty nice. This is definitely much more of for a family, I would say. It just has nice features back here. Like, I can comfortably sit back here. I'm about 6'2", 2.5 with shoes. I'm actually like 6'3", but I like to say I'm 6'2". When you, like, this is my comfortable seating position. I have plenty of room. If I'm back here, like, look, I have plenty of room still. And my headroom seems to be pretty good as well. I can comfortably sit back here. You know, if I sit up more straight, you know, if I was maybe, you know, 2 or 3 inches taller, it would probably be a little bit of a tight squeeze sitting behind myself. But honestly, though, this is totally fine. I could be back here for a while and have no problems at all. But yeah, overall, I will say the Charger is a real nice, comfortable place to be. I mean, this is definitely a big vehicle. There's no getting around that. Like, this is big. It's a 4-door sedan, but it has nice features in it. So I honestly, like, I would not have any problems daily driving this at all. It's a real nice, comfortable place to be, especially in this trim where you have all of the bells and whistles and everything like that. Heated seats, perfect. Heated steering wheel, perfect. You know, you get all the leather. It's really nice, and this is really comfortable to drive. And yeah, I could definitely see myself, you know, daily driving something like this. But now let's check out the Challenger. Stepping inside of the Challenger, I'm going to just turn this on. I'm not gonna turn the car fully on just because it's. I'm not gonna get a cold start right now. But when we turn this on, this is what I mean. Everything seems slightly different. As you can tell, the gauges, they're a little bit more digital. I don't know what it is, even though this is still analog around here. I don't know if you can tell, but it's slightly tilted towards us. So that's something a little bit different. Now this steering wheel is, you know, still a little bit different. Inside of the Charger seems to be a little bit different, like some of the actual outline stuff like that. I just added these paddle shifters aftermarket, but overall the steering wheel feels the same. Actually, no, this steering wheel does actually feel slightly different. I don't know how to explain it. The steering wheel feels a little bit more, just feels a little larger, if I can honestly, I don't know how, but it feels slightly, just me getting out of that car, getting in this car seems a little bit larger. It may not be, but it feels like it's slightly. And then moving over to the actual infotainment system, like I was saying, it's not quite as upright. Everything seems to be slightly tilted. Now this side seems to be tilted, you know, away from you, so it's a little bit better for glare. Kind of a strange concept. Like, this glass itself is tilted this way, but the actual gauges are tilted slightly that way. So it's like the glass is tilted this way and everything else is tilted that way. So it gives you kind of like a weird type of effect. But moving over here, the infotainment system seems to be pretty just, I don't know how to explain it. Everything seems to be just like wrapped around. So it's not like broken off. This whole thing wraps into here and wraps all the way around. And it's just like a nice uniformed look. Now moving down here, as I was saying, inside the Charger, this is much more upright. It's separate. It's underneath this, but it's still separate from the shifter. And we don't have that space underneath here where you can put stuff, anything like that. Moving back, the cup holders are here, like I was saying. So if you have the manual, you can still shift without, you know, hitting your cup holders. But it would be nice if these cup holders were somehow like back here in some way, and you had that same like drawer system. You can close it up. I don't mind this, but I do like the Charger's guest center console type of setup a little bit better. I do understand they had to do it this way for the manual, but it's just the way that everything is set up. You know, in here, obviously the normal, the shifter, you have your storage right there, cup holders, and you have your space in there. This is definitely smaller, and this is actually lower, which makes sense for driving stick. You want to just do like that, a little bit easier. It would feel weird if it was up higher. You would have to like kind of have a weird grip to get down to the shifter. And then just moving over, storage system, this is what I was saying. You have one cup holder, but there's no other space for anything else really down there. You could put something in there, but I feel like it's gonna fall. It's not really gonna hold it that well. Even though this seems to be wider, it's just so loose. Anything in there is just gonna shake and just basically spill. So you could put stuff down there. I really wouldn't advise putting too much down there, but you can put something down there. Now, obviously, my model does not have the leather seats. I have this aftermarket like heat or seat heater, which actually I will leave a link in the description if you want to check this thing out. This thing was really cheap. Now, looking out of the front window, there's plenty of visibility. Going to the mirrors, it's definitely a little bit more limited. And then looking over this shoulder, as you can tell, the big difference is you have to really peek to get a good view. Anytime I'm making a turn and I need to look over this side, sometimes I'll ask my passenger, am I clear? Just because it is a pretty good blind spot. In this section, you have to kind of like look over there just to kind of see. And then turning around, looking over here, it's definitely a blind spot. So there is some differences right there. You kind of have to like really negotiate yourself to see very well. And then getting in the back seat, this is me behind myself. Definitely the room is, it's definitely a lot lower, but I could sit back here. Like I said, 6'2", with shoes 6'3". I have room. I can fit back here. A decent amount of headspace back here, but if I was a little bit taller, yeah, it would be, kind of, my head would be in here, but I can actually sit back here. And it's, it's not terrible. I wouldn't want to sit back here for forever just because I don't have a window. And, but I do have actually a little nice padded rest right there. So this is definitely, you buy the Challenger if it's more spacious than the Camaro and the Mustang for sure. I can sit back here, honestly, and like there is, like some heated stuff back here. The center rest is much smaller. Like I was saying, it's just kind of the basic thing. There's no storage in there. This is what I mean. You put anything back here, this stuff is gonna flop out of here. Like this is supposed to hold it. It's not. I've definitely spilled stuff. Spilled like an iced tea had back here. It's can't hold anything really like super big or anything like that. Even smaller stuff. Till you take a turn, stuff's gonna be rattling around. The other thing I do think is nice is just, you can actually fit 3 people back here. Pull that up. You could fit three people back here. It's going to be a tight squeeze, but you can fit people back here. Your passengers may not like you afterwards, but you can fit people back here. But definitely, though, if you need the extra space, I would definitely go with the Charger over the Challenger. Just overall, I do think the main difference is just going to be the Charger is much more of a family-oriented vehicle. The Challenger is much more of it's a more, grand touring. If it's just you and your spouse, and maybe you have one kid or something like that, you can definitely take the Challenger. There's enough room for, 2 people, 3 people. Yeah, when you start getting to 4 people, it gets kind of crowded, but you can make it work if you really want to. We have definitely done that before. We've had 4 people in here, no problem. I've sat in the back here, no problem at all. I wouldn't want to do it for like an hour and a half, but you can do it for, 30 minutes. It's not that bad. Just looking into the front seat again, this is what the kind of look that you're getting. Just the Challenger has a much more uniform type of feel. Everything's just swooping together. Even this whole system, everything's swooping together, which is kind of a nice look. And as you even looking at the dashboard, how it kind of has this nice curve, like that. It's a nice system. And yeah, those are kind of like the big main differences between both of these vehicles, especially from the interior perspective. And then just looking at the back, the taillights inside the back of here, they are definitely separate. I've added this aftermarket spoiler on, the wicker build spoiler. I'll have a link in the description below as well, and I tinted out the taillights, so that's definitely a little bit different. And then just looking at the taillights inside the Charger, it's all one uniformed look. It goes around, and then with the stock spoiler on top. Yeah, guys, so that's the main differences between the Charger and the Challenger, especially in the interior section. Like I was saying before, you can make it work with the Challenger if you need room. If you have like 2 people, maybe 3 people, you can make the Challenger work. I've definitely done it. We've done it. And yeah, I mean, we've gone on camping trips with the Challenger, and it has enough room for us and all of our gear for literally a whole weekend. So you can make it work. But if you do need that extra space, I would suggest getting the Charger, just because of those back doors. It really does make things easier getting in and out. Even me just filming this section, getting into the back seat, it's a tight squeeze getting back there. It's just more annoying. But yeah, so hopefully this video helps someone out. If you're trying to comparing the Charger versus the Challenger, what should you get? Hopefully this video kind of helps you guys out. But yeah, but like that, I'm gonna end the video here, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this video, give it a like. Follow me on Instagram. My name is OmegaGreed, same name as the YouTube channel. Go to the website geekswithcars.com, and like that, we're out of here. Goodbye.